everyone. Welcome to the Liv Strong Podcast and show. I'm so excited today. I have Danny and Pasha with me. They have been on Dancing with the Stars, the show, the live tour. They've also been on The World of Dance. And back in the day, they were even kind enough to come and perform at my fundraiser in 2015. The topic today is one of my favorite topics, and that is relationships. The name of the episode today is called Dancing with the Pressure, Pashkov style. So,
your love, your love, your love. There's a limit to your care. So carelessly there.
Nice.
Is it true for dare? There's a limit to your care.
Yeah.
To your love. Like a waterfall in slow flow. Like a map with no ocean. There's a limit to your love. There's a limit to your love.
they wanted me to introduce them as just Danny and Pasha, which is typical to their style and part of the reason why I love them so much, because even after all these years, their humility has remained the same. And without further ado, welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi. Thank you for having us.
So, how are you guys doing today?
We're good. The sun is shining, so we're in a very good mood.
Yeah, I can see that. I read Danny yesterday. I have to shout you out. It looks like you're giving the poet a run for her money with the post you made for Pasha.
Well, it's I was in the moment because I just lost both my grandparents a few days apart. So it just makes you realize, like, you never know what you really have until it's gone, and you start appreciating it. Not that I don't appreciate him now, but I was in the moment and just felt like so much gratitude towards him, because I feel like I won the jackpot when it comes to husbands, and I just want him to know that, and I hope he already does. But
yeah,
just in a moment kind of thing. I woke up and I was like, oh, I love him so much. I'm just gonna write about him.
yeah. I think, well, what you wrote, it had me in tears. I was sitting down and I was like, you guys are the definition, I think, of what most people pray for. And I know one thing that I have always said is that we're not supposed to compare ourselves to anyone, but I do think that there's a lot that can be learned from witnessing greatness. And I think you all have those qualities on and off the floor. And I was up last night late. I couldn't sleep because I was excited as I was thinking about interviewing you both. And I had this whole list of questions written out, and I woke up early this morning and I changed all of them. And I was like, yeah, because I was like, what do I really want to say? And what do I really want to ask? And when I think about what this show is about, Live Strong, I think about that word strong, and I think about that word strength. And I really believe that the strongest thing that any of us can ever do is get in touch with love. And I think part of getting in touch with real love and true love is being willing to be vulnerable with one another.
Absolutely.
And so whether it's showing that love in the dailiness, and whether it's being willing to be vulnerable with expressing it in words, or whether it's just seeing the fragility of life. And Danny, I also saw the post that you did for your grandparents, and girl, you've had me in tears like this whole week.
Yep, that was me all week too.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. So I have a few things that I want to ask you guys, and we don't have to really go in any type of particular order, and we can just bounce around and keep this kind of casual and coffee shop. But is there anything in particular that you all would say you kind of make a part of your daily practice, just in terms of keeping yourselves individually and as a couple, keeping yourselves stable, I guess would be the best word, because to go from competition life, television life, touring life, and even quarantine life, I mean, all of those things produce a lot of pressure on you. And how have you guys been able to maintain this steady type of relationship through it all?
I think for me personally, I think the secret is quite a balanced match, because both of us, we do like our personal space, and we both need time to have time for ourselves and time to recharge. And I think because we're both aware of it, because we're both required, we give it to each other as well. Right. So what happens is, even though throughout all these years we've been together 24/7, whether it was teaching or practicing or traveling or rehearsing, living together, but because we're both aware of what we both need and require, right, for our own personal sanity, and we provide that for each other, that's why it keeps it very balanced. And I think this is, for us at least personally, of course everybody's different, but for our personal relationship, I think that's the key. That's the key. So we're always together, and yet we're never tired of each other. You know, we always want to spend more time with each other, and the moment when we don't see each other for a day, we start missing each other.
Wow, that's great.
I mean, if you notice, we're never really on top of each other, because we do like our personal space, and it just makes it that much more special when we do have time with each other. So like, you'll never see us like the public display of affection kind of thing, like in public and just trying to be all like, it's not our thing. Like, we like to do that in our private time and our privacy, and the world doesn't have to see that. But we do, like, I mean, we're still married, right? So we still like hold hands and everything.
AF.
But I just think it's also like a lot about trust, and like, if he wants to go out with his friends, he's gonna go out with his friends. He doesn't have to ask me, not his mother. Or like, if I want to go in with my girls and see a movie, we go and do it, you know? So I feel like trust is a huge part of our relationship too. Like,
yeah, we both feel completely free, you know, completely free. And like you said, I think you nailed it right there when you said vulnerable. You know, it's that vulnerability, you know, that if you, like Daniella said, you know, then at the end of the day, you trust, you know, you're vulnerable, right? And then you trust it 100%, and then you don't question anything anymore. That gives you that freedom, you know, so you feel absolutely free, and therefore you don't feel stuck in a relationship, but opposite, you know, you feel drawn into this relationship. So it's
and when you have like time to yourself, like, all you want to do is just be together.
Right. I think that's one of the things that comes through so apparent in your dancing also, guys. Like, and I mean, I know I don't just speak for myself, when you all dance together, that vulnerability, that trust, that freedom, and that love, it shows. And I definitely think I speak for everyone who watches you guys, because there's great dancing, and then there's the great love story that's braided within the dancing that just leaves all of us so breathless and speechless when we watch you guys. And it's mesmerizing to really really see you guys dance. And I think it's why you've done so well, both in the competitive world and also in the commercial world. It's something really, really special. I'm curious, when you do take your personal space and your personal time, what are some of the things that you like to do to reset and recenter and refocus? One of the hashtags that I put on the flyer was diet. And I was like, I hope they don't take that wrong. Not that you both don't have incredible physiques, but when I talk about diet, I'm talking about what you're consuming through your eyes, through your ears, through your soul. Like, what's your soul time look like?
I'll start again. Well, I love to read self-help books, right? Or I mean, maybe not necessarily self-help books, but anything that is going to be inspirational and eye-opening. If you look at my book collection, you will see a lot of Paulo Coelho, like The Alchemist, and a lot of his other works, and different books that combine the Western and Eastern philosophies, like Thinking Body, Dancing Mind. And another one of my favorites is Esther Hicks, the one that is channeled Abraham, you know. So all of these things, you know, all of these type of books, I love reading. I love watching YouTube videos. I went to some workshops, and for me, reading anything like that always puts me back together, you know, keeps me focused on the right things. And meditating, you know, and just in general, those are like very personal things. And then overall is doing anything that makes you feel good in the moment, you know, if it's watching a favorite show together, or doing some kind of a workout, anything that puts you in a good mood and gives you a good vibe is worth doing, you know. Anything that raises your vibration, you know.
What about you?
Honestly, for me, it's just anywhere where there's sun. I feel like the sun just recharges me, whether it's like 10 to 15 minutes, just go out, breathe fresh air, and just have a little bit vitamin D, you know, and that's just my recharge completely. So that really helps me a lot. And just honestly, just creating videos, like on my phone, like I have this little app, and I look back at like trips to Paris and trips to England, and I try to like get all the photos and just like kind of create a video. It's kind of like my zen. I just go and create. And then I like to show Pasha them, and then he becomes really proud of me, and it makes me happy.
I love that.
Or just like a show, you know, just like we watch so much of The Office and Friends that it's already in our like muscle memory kind of. So we just put it in the background, and I just kind of like you zoom in and out. So it's kind of nice, you know. So that's it. I'm pretty simple.
That's awesome. No, definitely. Do you think that as we find our rhythm and as we find our new normal as a culture, both locally and globally, do you think that dancing is helping? Do you think dancing has helped your relationship, and do you think it could help our globe right now in terms of like bringing people's joy up together? Because I noticed like one of the videos that I've seen during quarantine time is you guys dancing in your living room together, speaking of videos. And I know that made me happy and brought me joy. Do you
honestly
think that's one of the things that could help people right now?
Yeah, I think it's nice to kind of step away from technique for a little bit, you know, and kind of tune into the connection side of ballroom dancing, you know, because it's so powerful between a man and a woman. I feel like you can start developing that energy between the two of you, because it doesn't take technique to do that. So whether if it's just like even like dancing in your living room, when he kind of like stops, you would have to be able to kind of like feel where he's going, his body, and then kind of like go again, you know. So it's a good chance for everyone right now to just develop that side, the chemistry side of ballroom. Not the fake, oh, I love you, you love me, let's pretend on the dance floor. But more of a, like a, even if it's just like a sway side to the side, like in your own living room or your kitchen, bedroom, wherever it is, like you should be able to feel what the other person is kind of leading you through. And I'm not talking about like ballroom, I'm talking about like real, just body to body dancing.
Yeah.
And I think this is a great opportunity for that.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. Was there ever a time where you struggled or felt challenged between the ballroom world and the commercial world, where you were being pulled in terms of like being a technical dancer versus being more of a commercial dancer, and like losing the authenticity of staying in tune with exactly what you're talking about, like the chemistry versus the technical side?
I think as a competitor, right? As a competitor in the competitive industry, you're always reminded about technique, and I think that is when it's very easy to lose other sides of the spectrum. You know what I mean? Like chemistry, authenticity, and all these things, right? So it's very important while you're still competing not to get into the like a competitive zone and close yourself off from everything and thinking that competitive is only like sport and technique. You know, I think that is when it's very easy to lose. To be honest with you, when it has to do with the commercial side, it's quite opposite, because nobody really cares too much about technique. Technique is just a um, is just a tool that you use. It's already in you. It's either there or it's not there, right? So of course the technique is there, but you start paying attention to other things, more about musicality, more about entertainment, more about presentation, and how to connect with the audience, right? Especially if it's let's say a televised show and it's through the camera, right? You need to connect to people who are sitting at home through the camera lens. So you start looking at dancing from a different point of view, and the technique really goes into the background, not because nobody cares about it. Yes, you do need to have it, but it's something, as I said, it's either there or not there, but that's definitely not a priority. And I think that is the big difference between the commercial side and the competitive side. It's just that in the competitive side, because of all the lesson and workshops and the videos that you see, and everybody's putting so much attention on the technique, sometimes we forget that it's just a tool for us to get to the art of it, to the self-expression, right? And sometimes we just start becoming a little bit robotic. So I think that's very important to remember, even if you're a competitor, and not to forget that technique is not everything. It's just one aspect.
Right. That's awesome. As you guys moved into kind of this whole new world and this whole new transition of, you know, being on World of Dance, being on Dancing with the Stars, going on this tour, was there anything that you learned through your journey that you maybe didn't anticipate or didn't see coming, that you didn't learn so much in the ballroom world that was an adjustment for you, or you really had to kind of like shift your your spirit or your being, or just that you didn't see coming, that just completely caught you off guard?
honestly, I feel like we're so lucky to have been raised in the ballroom world, just because it made us who we are. It made us understand that technique is important and chemistry is important and the discipline is super important. And I feel like we're so grateful, and it taught us so much competitively too. Like it gives you a nice competitive discipline as well. And I feel like I actually learned so much from ballroom that I took it, and I'm trying not to change it in that show business kind of world, because I feel like that's what makes it special, you know? Like we've been doing ballroom our whole life, and I feel like if we try right now to go and do something outside of it in the commercial world, it'll make us lose ourselves. And I feel like I want to keep what we've learned and keep our chemistry and keep our technique and keep our way of movement, the organic way of movement, and I want to bring it to the commercial side, because I feel like a lot of times that gets lost, because it is really difficult when we step on stage. It's hard because you have so many fans and so many, like the crowd just goes nuts, and that's kind of what I wish the ballroom world had a little bit more, is not the crazy, not like the crazy, what is it called, the aura, not aura,
the atmosphere.
the atmosphere, because we have that in the ballroom world.
Right.
I just feel like we also uplift each other all the time. So if somebody's dancing who is in that same show, we're always like feeding them positivity and trying to get them to do their best, and like try to always radiant positive energy. So I feel like that I wish that was in the ballroom world a little bit more, because I feel like everyone is so into their craft, which is amazing because that's what makes them so good.
Right.
And I feel like I wish there was a little bit more of like a positivity kind of vibe in the ballroom.
Like that team spirit, right?
Yeah, team spirit. That's what it is. Like a team spirit kind of thing. Because it's nice. It's really nice to go out onto stage and just feel that everyone is there for each other.
Right.
And if somebody gets hurt, it's not like yes. It's like, oh my God, like that's our family member. Oh my God, we have to like make sure they're okay. And you know what I mean? It's such a positive experience in both worlds. And I feel like the only difference on stage is that you're not being compared to people. They're just really just enjoy. They're there for the show, and they're just there to enjoy. They're not there to look at your clarity of the rumba walk. So it's really nice not to have that pressure, but at the same time, you still want to deliver a beautiful technique, because that's what people like. They just probably don't know it, but that's probably what they like.
Yeah.
So, but it's really cool. Like both sides are so similar, and so grateful to both. It's just one is like dedicated to like the cleanliness and like Pasha was saying, the technique, and the other one is just devoted more to like the showmanship kind of thing. And it's so cool because like when you morph them together, you learn so much as a dancer.
Yeah, we're very lucky that we got to experience both, because we've been I can't say we haven't competed enough because we've competed for many years, for numerous competitions every year. So we've definitely done enough of that to have enough of experience from the competitive world. And now we're really, really 100% in the commercial world, as you said, with different shows and tours. So we're just so fortunate that we got to experience both, because it is similar yet different, and you find those things and you're like, oh, okay, and you adjust the things that are different because you have to adjust, right? But at the same time, if you feel it's similar, then you're trying to use the experience that you already had previously to help you out to go through it.
And you still want to keep learning. Like we're still going to take lessons and try to get ourselves better, because again, like that we love the ballroom world. We love everything in it, and we loved being raised in it. And we don't want to give that up. So we're definitely gonna like try to keep making ourselves better. And I already have Shirley I'm on Shirley's schedule. She's gonna make sure to whip me into shape real quick. So yeah, it's
awesome.
It's amazing to be in both. So
yeah, I love that so much. That was great. I think it's also a really rare couple that you see who can do both. Not that they're not capable of doing both, just that we don't see it often. So I think that I'm proud of you, and we're proud of you, and there's a lot of people who are proud of you guys. I wanted to ask you on that note though, because obviously right now, just as a collective, we're all kind of in this situation where we're on pause. And with that, we're kind of hitting a moment where we're being stripped right now, with just being completely having the carpet ripped out from under us, and that's not to say that our best days aren't still ahead of us, but with having job security and having, I know you guys were talking about moving to LA. So with that, where do you find yourself right now in terms of, I guess, finding your value and your worth when kind of everything you knew and everything you were building being ripped out from under you? And that's a tough question, but to be really on this upward incline and now everything has hit pause.
Well, to be honest with you, I'm a great believer that everything is happening for a reason, and everything is happening at the right time and at the right pace.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't feel any anxiety about this time. I feel like it's it's like a forced vacation. I remember when we used to compete all the time, we wouldn't give ourselves any break. And the only time we would have a break is whether we had an injury or some kind of, we caught some kind of virus and we had to stay at home, for like a week or two. Those were really the only times when we had any break. It was forced, right? Because we did not give ourselves, and we need that,
There's like a guilt too.
Yeah. We need that time to reset, to recharge. Life, there are cycles, and we cannot be all the time going at the same pace. We're not robots. And I feel like especially this last year has been so crazy for us. So much has changed, and first season Dancing with the Stars and 80 show tour. Now we didn't get a chance to finish, but we've done 60 of those 80 shows. So,
wow.
And you are on a bus and you travel every day. So now we have done a complete U-turn, and now we're at home every day. But to be honest with you, it almost feels right, at least for us personally. It almost feels appropriate. It's like this is a forced vacation that we would have never taken ourselves.
Right.
But now that we're forced into it, we're like, me personally, I'm grateful for it. And I'm like, okay, this is the chance for me to do the things that I wouldn't be doing. Like I get a chance to sleep, take care of my body, take care of my mind, do things that I wouldn't get a chance to do if this did not happen. So therefore, I don't feel like it's like there was an incline, now it's a decline. I feel like it's right where it is at the right time. And once this is going to be over, and obviously this will be over, we're just going to keep going straight from there.
It's the only hard part is just being inside, like it's hard to, yes, it's like a forced vacation, body wise, but you can't go to the beach, you can't go outside, you can't walk around, you can't go to the store, there's so many restrictions that it's like oh my gosh, what do we do? So in a way you have to find your own self vacation in a way, because like we can't leave our house because we don't want to risk it. So we never leave our house, but we have a little porch outside and we go and we sit on the porch. But and that's still difficult because we are very outdoorsy. We love walking around outside and just enjoying the fresh air, but it's hard because it's risky, and you sit and you're like, okay, what can I do? So you go upstairs and you meditate. Okay, we go and we eat together. We eat dinner and we don't have phones. We just talk, So you try to find ways inside the house to just like decompress.
Right.
It's definitely a new normal, like you said. It's a new normal. But it's something to get used to. But at the same time, because that it will be over soon. It's not gonna last forever. It will be over soon. And so it's like
sad.
let's use this opportunity, and let's use this to our advantage. We can turn everything into positive. You know what I mean? If you just open your mind enough, You can definitely
Don't watch the news every day. Like,
Yeah.
that's heartbreaking to lose so many people,
That's huge.
It's so sad.
That's
But
huge.
you can't let yourself, because you can't help. Let's put it this way, you can't. The only way you can help is not go outside. But honest, like, you're looking at it and it's just making yourself feel worse and worse and worse and worse, and you're like, oh my god, like, so many people are dying. It's so sad. It's heartbreaking. So you
Right.
should probably not watch that because there's nothing you can do about it unless you don't go outside.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, you have to find your inner peace in a way, and
Right.
find new things to stimulate you and, like, your brain, and
Right.
find different ways to unwind. But you know what? It was funny. I was telling, what was I saying? I don't remember who I told this to, but or maybe I posted about it. And it was basically like, on tour, you're going to complain. I mean, right? Like, you have 80 cities or 80 shows to dance.
Right.
Your body starts hurting. You get injured. I got really badly injured. I got my Achilles, whatever. Like, it was a whole thing. And there comes a point where the first, like, 40 shows are like, yeah, 30 shows are like, yeah, and then your body starts to hurt. It's tiring. It's the same show every day. You have to find ways to uplift each other all the time and make sure everyone's okay. And you start complaining. Naturally, what do? We complain. We're like, oh my god, this is amazing, but it's like, I can't wait to go home and sleep in my own bed,
Right.
And you don't start appreciating anymore. You start complaining, and you're like, oh my god, when am I going to be home already? Or when is this going to be done? Or whatever. Like, and then you wake up the next day and you're like, oh, I don't want to go home. This is the best thing ever. So it's like,
Right.
you're human. You have those feelings. You get tired. And then all of a sudden, everything just gets taken away from you. And you're like, shit,
Right.
now what? Like, do I wish I was here in this situation? No, I want to go back on tour. Take me back on tour. So it's like,
It's
never
a
really,
mindset.
yeah, it's always like that.
Yeah, it's human nature, right? We always, like, the grass is always green on the other side. So that's why we just need to find the positive in the here and the now, and just look at everything from the positive perspective.
And then we probably would have finished tour after 80 shows and would have been like, oh, we need a vacation. No, we can't have a vacation because now we have to go do this job and this job and this job. And it's like,
Yeah.
So
Right.
you have to be grateful in the moment. So this is what we got right now. Like, we have another month probably of this, and you just have to learn to somehow accept it and
That's great.
love it.
That's
So.
great advice. I have 3 quick questions for you guys, and then I'll let you go because I want to honor your time. One of the questions because I had some people writing me who are so interested to hear from you guys today, and one of the questions that someone sent me was, how do you all deal with social media? Because you're both so beautiful and attractive and in the public eye. Someone wanted to know about that. How do you all handle that? Has that ever been a challenging thing for you all? I know earlier you kind of already answered it because trust is one of your greatest qualities in your relationship, but has that ever been something that you guys have struggled with, or is that not really?
Social media?
In terms of, like, have it affected our relationship in any way? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't.
Pasha got happy for a second because when we got the job for Dancing with the Stars, somebody said I was pregnant.
That was
kinda
the
nice.
second question. Are you guys ever planning on having children?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. We've been planning for a long time.
He was really happy, and then he's like,
Yeah.
"Are you not pregnant?" Like, no.
Yeah, of
That
course.
was a 2-for-1 question.
Yeah, sometimes our friends send us some funny articles with some news about us that we didn't know ourselves. Like,
It's
for
so
example,
funny.
like Daniella being pregnant. I was like, well, I had no idea. Well, thanks for telling me. I just found out from our friends. No, it's we definitely, if we're talking about the kids, that has been on our mind for a long time, and that's definitely something we want. We want to have a big family. We have names chosen for our kids
Yes, we
and
do.
everything.
I love it.
But we're not forcing it. We
Yeah.
kind of feel that it has to be at the right time.
Right.
Yeah.
And right now is not the right time.
Yeah. But social media, no,
We don't want to go by instinct in the coronavirus. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. Who says sorry first?
Who says sorry first?
What do you mean?
between us?
If there's an argument, who says sorry
Who says
first?
sorry?
Honestly, we talk a
I
lot.
don't
Like,
know.
we don't. The thing is with us, I'm very straightforward. And if there's no hiding it. Like, if there's something I don't like that he did or whatever, which is very rare because he's like an angel.
There's not much argument because Danny is very straightforward. So there's never nothing gets a chance to build up to get into the argument because everything is always very transparent and very straightforward. So we always
that's another thing, by the way.
Talk everything straight out right away, that it never leads to an argument. So therefore, I mean, like honestly, the only arguments we did have is when we were practicing, and it was always about the same thing, about the connection.
Yeah.
Any ballroom couple will relate, and they will know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Those were our like major arguments.
And if there was an argument,
otherwise,
if there's another argument, like, and he can tell by my face, it's usually like if he asks me what's wrong, I'll tell him what's wrong. It's not like, oh, nothing. Nothing.
Right.
No, nothing. It's like, okay, this is what's wrong.
There's no filter. There's no filter there.
Talk about it.
I love it. And if you guys, last one, I promise, if you guys had any advice for couples who are in quarantine together right now, who are under pressure and maybe not as experienced or as loving and vulnerable as you all right now, what piece of advice would you leave them with?
Give each other space. Because once you feel at peace with yourself and you feel good within yourself, both people, then they become independently feeling good, then you will feel good together. But if you are looking for the good feeling from another person, that's the wrong place to look, right? You first find it within yourself.
That's great.
You know, and then once you're in the right place and your other half is in their right place, then you both are going to be in the right place together.
That's great.
But also do what you love. Like, if you don't have to be together all the time. Like, it's not a given that you have to be stuck side by side. Like, go read a book, go watch your favorite show. Like, maybe sometimes he doesn't want to watch a show with me, like Schitt's Creek or like a girly show or whatever. Like, I go watch it, and he goes and reads his book, and then we miss each other, and then I go bother him, and I'm like, what you doing? And then we go eat, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to my show, or like he does his thing, and then we go eat again, because we can't, that's all we do nowadays, is just eat. So.
We can't tell. It must be all that dancing in the living room.
Oh.
I love that. There's a book, Pasha, I don't know if you've read it or not. It's from Khalil Gibran, and he says, let there be spaces in your togetherness. So you're...
No, I've never read it. No.
Yeah.
You need to send it to me.
I'll send it to you. It's so funny. I'm gonna leave you guys with this. I have had your book, The Show Must Go On, and it's been titled and everything to Danny and Pasha for months.
Aww.
I've been waiting to send it to you, but I thought you guys were moving to LA, and then you were on tour, and I've had it here, and I dedicated a poem to you guys. And I want to read it to you on here, if that's okay.
Yes.
Of course, yes.
Because I wanted to send it to you in the mail, but I can't even get to a post office right now. So you're gonna get the virtual reading. It's called Blown Away, and I wanted to just read it for you because you guys blow me away. You really do. Never was there ever a day that would pass that she didn't treat like it was her last. Under the lights, she sparkled with class, in diamonds and flowers drowning so fast. Counting the days and thanking her friends, all of my life, where have you been? When the music is over in the city of sin, she just breathes deep and takes it all in. I swear when it hits, it cuts like a knife. All of the pieces I'm hiding inside. And there's not enough time or words I could say, but the kindness I've witnessed just blows me away. Thank you for bringing summer to my fall. God bless you guys. I love you.
Oh, that's
Thank you so much.
sweet.
Thank you so much.
You guys
Thank
are
you.
amazing. Honestly, as humble and as just down to earth as the day I met you, and honestly, like anybody who ever comes across you is just blessed to be on your path. And I'm really glad that you guys have some time to rest and get sun on the porch and read your books. And just thank you so much for your time today. I know even in the middle of quarantine, you guys are busy and have all your sessions online. So I pray that you have time to recharge and fill your cup and just enjoy this time. So where can people find you if they want to look you up?
Just
On Instagram, Daniella Karagacha and Pasha Pashkov.
Okay.
And Twitter, D Karagacha.
And Pasha Pashkov 86.
Okay.
And and YouTube.
And you
We're on
too.
YouTube.
Okay, awesome. So this is Dancing with the Pressure, Pashkov style, and I am Olivia, and you can find me at www.olivialivstrong.com and Olivia Dance One on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. I love you, and be safe.
Thank you so much. Be safe.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.